Biden is hosting Japan's prime minister for an official state visit today. The two leaders expected to meet in the Oval Office later this morning before the state dinner tonight. It all comes ahead of the first ever summit between the U.S., Japan, and the Philippines. That's happening tomorrow, where China's increasing aggression is going to be the focus. FBI Director Christopher Wray warning once again that China is, quote, the defining threat of our generation. Joining me right now is a retired U.S. Army Brigadier General and the author of the Phalanx Code, Anthony Tata. General, always a pleasure. Thanks very much for being here. What do you want to hear from the leaders of Japan, the leader of the Philippines, in terms of how they're reacting and what they can do to push off the aggression of Communist China?
Yeah, I think it's a great segue from the lead-in with the report there about the supply chains. Prime Minister Kishida and President Marcos both need to be talking about how they're beefing up their own defenses. And, you know, Japan is somewhat limited in that regard, but they have great assistance from the United States. And we signed a few years ago the Enhanced Defense Cooperation Agreement with the Republic of the Philippines for access to 4 bases. As you know, Clark and Subic Bay were shut down many years ago. Getting that island chain operational again to be able to counter Chinese hegemony in that region is important. And so we need to hear their commitment to an allied defense against the Chinese aggression. As you watch China, Russia, North Korea all flex their muscles in different directions, it really puts a strain on the United States that's having trouble recruiting right now. So the more that we can have these economic alliances and defense alliances, and even the information warfare that comes along with this sends a strong signal.
Yeah, I mean, this week, the head of the U.S. Indo-Pacific Command said that he was very concerned about China's aggression toward Philippine forces near disputed islands in the South China Sea. They're watching what the Chinese Communist Party is doing to intimidate Taiwan and what they're doing in the South China Sea, and basically saying we could be next.
Yeah, that's right. And, you know, everything is about the supply chain. You think about Taiwan and Taiwan Semiconductor right there. You know, think about the disruption to global economies if China were to make some kind of move on Taiwan, even if it was a peaceful takeover, quote unquote, where they do like a Hong Kong style maneuver, and all of a sudden they're just in charge.
Yeah.
We wouldn't be able to trust a single chip coming out of Taipei, you know, from TSMC, because you have no idea what the Chinese would be putting on it, kind of like their drones.
Well, this is a very important point that you make. 90% of advanced semiconductor chips are made in Taiwan. These advanced semiconductor chips are used in the military and our advanced technology, obviously. So if the CCP goes into Taiwan, whether it's a soft move like they did in Hong Kong or a hard move, whatever, they're going to be able to turn the world on and off.
That's exactly right. Remember, a couple of years ago, people ordering cars had to wait 6 months because, you know, there was a disruption in the supply chain on chips. And think about if China controlled, like you just said, 80 to 90% of the chip supply chain. It's a real single point of failure for not only the United States, but all nations across the globe. And the economic disaster that would follow would be, I think, you know, unforeseen.
General, I want to move on. I want to ask you about this Univision interview that the president did. But real quick, before we leave this subject, do you expect China to go into Taiwan this year while Joe Biden's at the wheel?
You know, honestly, I don't, Maria. I think they right now are focused on their economy.
Okay. Now, in this interview President Biden did with Univision, he criticized Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and Netanyahu's approach to the war and retaliating against Hamas. Watch this.
I think what he's doing is a mistake. What I'm calling for is for the Israelis to just call for a ceasefire, allow for the next 6-8 weeks total access to all food and medicine going into the country. I've spoken with everyone from the Saudis to the Jordanians to the Egyptians. They're prepared to move in. They're prepared to move this food in. And I think there's no excuse to not provide for the medical and the food needs of those people.
I want to get your take on this public scolding of Israel and Netanyahu by President Biden in the middle of Israel's fight for its life, literally. Netanyahu doubled down on his vow to launch an invasion into Rafah yesterday, saying we will complete the elimination of Hamas battalions, including in Rafah. No force in the world will stop us. But, General, there's got to be an impact of this public scolding that President Biden is giving Netanyahu time and time again every single day. And he says, I've spoken to everybody. I spoke to Jordan. I spoke to this one. I spoke to that. Has he spoken to Hamas? Has he gotten a promise from Hamas that he's going to release the hostages while he publicly scolds Netanyahu? Do you know of that?
Maria, you didn't hear him mention the hostages, so it's really quite breathtaking to listen to a U.S. president knowing that we have U.S. citizens being held hostage by a terrorist group, and there's been literally no real messaging to retrieve those hostages, no military effort to retrieve the hostages that's been made public.
Yeah.
And it's really a bad look to be scolding Netanyahu for defending Israel, our main ally in the Middle East. So I think Netanyahu's got it right. Accomplish the mission, and I think the President Biden and the administration needs to back off and let Netanyahu do his job.
Yeah, but they're not backing off. Lee Zeldin, jump in here. They're not backing off. They're publicly scolding Netanyahu in the middle of the biggest fight of his life, in the fight for Israel. And there's no mention of the hostages released from Biden.
Absolutely. If Israel woke up today and said that they were going to go along with a ceasefire, there would be a one-sided ceasefire. Hamas isn't waking up today. They're going to use it as an opportunity to regroup and be able to go back on offense.
But look what he's doing for the public opinion against Israel.
So President Biden is doing this for domestic politics. You see the uncommitted vote coming out of Dearborn, Michigan. This is about winning a campaign. That's why Chuck Schumer, who had pledged to be a lifelong friend of Israel, has proven that really it's a lifelong pledge to Chuck Schumer. And when the United States, known to be the leader globally of this effort to strengthen alliances with Israel, when the U.S. leads the way President Biden is now leading, that ends up eroding support across the rest of the country. And a quick question, if it's okay for General Tata, you see a lot of rhetoric coming from the left using terms like genocide and proportionality. And if you could just speak from your experience as to what Israel's doing, whether it's roof knockers, leaflets, the warnings, the effort that they're taking, the painstaking effort that they're taking, please just speak to that so that we understand and can sort through the rhetoric.
Sure. Yeah, hey Lee, great to chat with you. I've never seen a military go through so much effort to make sure that there's no collateral damage, no civilian casualties. And it is absolutely, what they do is absolutely 100% trying to minimize civilian casualties and putting their own troops in harm's way that they don't have to, by doing that. And, as a combat commander, and certainly you've been in combat, Lee, what lengths we go through with our rules of engagement. Yeah. I would say that Israel is even more restrictive in their application of combat power to make sure that they don't cause unnecessary damage.
We haven't seen we haven't seen a player as transparent as we've seen Israel, dropping leaflets saying, get out of the area. This is going to be a war zone imminently. Meanwhile, I want to switch gears and ask you about the U.S. Navy releasing these images last week of the underwater wreckage at the site of the Francis Scott Key Bridge collapse in Baltimore. They were taken using Coda Octopus Group's underwater sonar imaging tool. Coda Octopus is a global leader in imaging sonar technology, diving technology. You're on the board of Coda Octopus, right?
I am an independent director, yes, Maria.
And the technology there, what do you want to say about that in terms of the underwater technology, General?
It's unparalleled. I was Secretary of Transportation in North Carolina. I had 12,500 bridges that we were constantly, in the wake of the Minneapolis bridge failure, constantly imaging and all of that. And I wish I'd had this technology. CODA's, it's patented real time. That's the big difference, 3D volumetric. So it's very different than side scan or multi-beam. You get the entire picture that you're showing right there, and in real time. And so you can even send divers down with augmented goggles, diver-assisted visual display that you can communicate with as they're doing this. And so
that's great.
It's a NASDAQ-traded company. It's a great company that's really helping our, it's all about the supply chain, right?
Yes.
We're trying to open Baltimore Harbor. We're trying to clean up this bridge. And Coda Octopus and team are on site doing a great job.
Thank you, General. We will talk more about investing in defense